Good evening, everybody. This is 12 Gauge. I'd like to welcome you to my channel if you've never been here before. I hope that you enjoy your stay and that you get something educational out of your journey. Everything that I say here has been proven, researched, or educated based on hypothesis, never theories unless it's researched enough to give you the information that can't be debunked or disputed. Tonight, I'd like to talk to you about shame and guilt and how it works. We're going to be talking about how shame and guilt works in an abusive substance abuse situation. And I'm going to give you some insight and some information on how to overcome that. So let's get on with it. All right, dealing with shame and guilt regarding substance use. Active addiction pushes us to do things we wouldn't normally do. When you're addicted to something, you have to find a way to get the thing that you're addicted to. It doesn't matter how you get it or you or who you hurt in the process. That's so true. The addict relieves the pain of guilt and shame by using more of their drug of choice. When the recovery process begins, the addict is flooded with memories of all the things they wish they could undo. Don't we all have that in our lives, though? We're talking about addiction right now, but don't we have that in our lives? We have moments in our lives where we wish we could go back in time and sometimes fix some of the things that we've done to hurt people, to fix some of the trust that we've broken, fix some of the memories that people have of us, and kind of give them the better version of ourselves today. It says addicts aren't the only people who feel guilt and shame. Everyone had done something in their lives that they've regretted. Everyone could benefit from learning to let go of feelings of guilt and shame. Guilt and shame serve an important purpose in our lives. Guilt is our conscience. Guilt warns us that we need to stop and do something different. You know, whenever you have that feeling of something telling you, hey, you need to do something different, you don't need to continue down this road of self destruction, or haven't you seen this before? You know how it's going to end up. But sometimes we go against that, and beyond our better judgment, we cause chaos, strife, and destruction sometimes. When we ignore our feelings of guilt and we continue to do what we believe is wrong, we feel shame. Shame is when we internalize guilt and begin to believe we were a bad person. We lie and cover up our wrongdoings. Hiding our wrongs only leads to more guilt and shame. It's like an endless process, you know. You have guilt, you exhibit shame, and you continue over and over, and eventually you get trapped into this cycle. You make this a little bigger. Okay, at the top it says, you make a mistake and you engage in a destructive behavior, whatever that destructive behavior might be, whether it be manipulating, lying, stealing, cheating, drinking, drugging, overeating, gambling, sexual addiction, pornography, whatever it might be. You make a mistake and you instantly say, you know what, I can't deal with this mistake. I'm going to go and engage in this destructive behavior. And then, sorry, I didn't mean to shift the PowerPoint up. Good grief. You feel shame, deep guilt, and regret, so you proceed to say verbally abusive things to yourself. You know what? You're just a piece of crap. Why can't you stop doing that? How come you always resort to that whenever you're this way? Are you ever going to break the cycle of shame? So you negatively talk yourself pressed to have a plan to make amends and to correct your mistakes, and you learn nothing. You try to cheer yourself by engaging in behaviors you give into bad habits or addictions that comfort you to forget about how bad you feel. You know, it's like you have a bad day, you have a bad week, and at the end of the week, what do you say? I'm ready to unwind. I'm ready to go do something to get all this off me. And for a lot of people, that's meeting up for happy hour on Friday night. Nothing wrong with that. Social drinking is acceptable. It's whenever you social drink and then you do some cocaine and then you do some ecstasy and you're out dancing and you hook up with somebody who you don't know, have unprotected sex, catch an STD, and all this on Monday, you feel like crap. You feel like, man, I did that last weekend and the weekend before and the weekend before. And you feel trapped in a cycle that you can't get out of, and all you're doing is adding pain to your already guilt and shame. So you're just drowning in the abuse. How do you break the cycle of guilt and shame? You face your wrongs, meaning that you face them head on. You're honest. You're telling yourself, hey, you know what? I do this too much. I need to find a way out of this. I need to formulate a plan to get over these things that I'm doing to myself. You correct your wrongs by accountability, by responsibility, by discipline, and having a plan of action that you continue to follow up on to make those small steps towards a different you. You ask people for forgiveness. You know what? I was a piece of crap back then. You know, we all have our moments. That was my time. Can you please forgive me? I would ask for forgiveness from yourself first before you ask others for forgiveness. Because if you can't forgive yourself for anything that you've done, if somebody doesn't forgive you, you're going to shoot right back into that cycle we just talked about. And that's what it says on the last one, forgiving yourself. How do we face our wrongs? Thoroughly processing a wrong from your past can help you avoid the same mistake in the future. Think about the wrongs you committed and brainstorm ideas for how to make up for it. You bounce your ideas off close friends and family, people that you can trust. People aren't going to judge you. People that are going to understand and say, look, I've been there too. If you believe it would help the situation to directly approach the person to ask for forgiveness, then do it. Set up a time to meet with that person. But like I said, make sure that you have a strong, stable connection that's not going to be rattled if you get rejected by somebody not wanting your forgiveness, somebody not accepting your forgiveness, or somebody still seeing you as the same person that they've always seen during the times of sobriety. Because when we're sober, we make promises and deals. We make all these things that we're going to do. And we're good until the change becomes uncomfortable. And then we start having that oh shit moment. That moment where we start to fade backwards and we start to look for some kind of comfort because it's overwhelming and uncomfortable. And we don't know how to deal with it. And how many times have you put people through this? They've taken you back and they believed in you and they believed in your sobriety, and you've always shown them that you could only go so far. How do we forgive ourselves? You have to forgive you. Because if you never forgive you, there's no way that anybody's going to be able to forgive you and you accept it. Talk therapy, writing therapy, symbolic forgiveness, prayer meditation, mindfulness meditation, imagery, and self talk. Talk to other people and find out how they would handle the situation. Should you act impulsively and it results in behavior that causes you to feel guilt or shame, correct the situation as soon as you become aware of it. Don't allow the past to keep you stuck. Learn from it. Let go and move on. Like I've said in my previous videos, this life is not a dress rehearsal. We only get so much time on this earth. You should not spend a lot of time living in regret, trying to get it right. You should learn the foundation that it takes on a daily basis to hold yourself accountable, to hold yourself disciplined, to hold yourself motivated for a new you. And please remember, while we're trying to get it right, the rest of the world has been getting it right for a long time. So they're not going to cheer you on. They're not going to say, way to go, good job. Some might, but not everybody. So don't throw it in their face saying, look at me, I got 10 days sober. Look at me, I got 8 days sober. Look at me, I got 3 months sober. Nobody really cares. They might be proud of you, but they're saying, hey man, I've been doing this for years. Where have you been? Oh, you've been over there messing up. I know. You've been in jail. You've been in prison. You've been doing whatever. Don't let that get you down because it's not for them, it's for you. Guilt and shame can lead to relapse. Addicts generally have difficulty coping with any feeling that we perceive as negative. So I've always been told that in my classes and in my groups. When I'd ask somebody, well, do you have any friends? No, I try to stay away from negativity. I try to stay away from negative people. I just deal with positive people. But how realistic is that? Most people are yin and yang. They have positive and negative thoughts. So you can't just compartmentalize yourself to just one dimensional people because eventually you're going to believe when you're feeling negative and you can't snap out of it, you're going to think that these people are fake and you're going to get tired of them and you're going to get tired of the affirmations and all these things that I'm telling you about, and you're just going to give up. So make sure that you teach yourself how to incorporate a life with both kinds because we are both negative and positive. We have bad days. We're human. Facing feeling, correcting wrong, asking for forgiveness, and forgiving ourselves a way to let go of the past so that you can grow as a person and fully live in the present moment. Once we have done this, the guilt and shame will be resolved so we don't feel the need to return to our old coping skills of using substances to cover up these feelings. Change your thoughts and you'll change your world. Awesome PowerPoint. Awesome. One thing I want to tell you guys, if you're dealing with any of this or if you're dealing with somebody who is shameful and full of guilt and doesn't know how to get rid of it, focus on their positive traits to build them up. They're not going to instantly believe you. They're not instantly going to say, you know what, you're right. I am a good person. You're right. I am hard worker. You're right. I'm this and that. But the more that you hear something positive, the more you're going to start believing it and stop doubting it. That self fulfilling prophecy. know, whatever you've been told that is positive eventually will become your reality. You know, you answer to what you're called. So if you're called negative, all those things that go in your head daily, then you're going to react to that and you're going to become that. How you treat yourself is how you treat your world. You want a better world, then start from within and start talking better to yourself. If being on social media or being on the internet or being on YouTube is too much for you and it incorporates your feelings, because a lot of these cases that I watch daily, I watch a lot of true crime because, as you know, I'm going to school to get my criminal justice bachelor's degree, and I'm trying to learn because it's something new to me. But I can tell you, by the end of the day, I am spent. I am drawn to a very thin line. I've been reading about it. I've been seeing educational videos. I've been, taken through studies. Not only that, but things that I'm learning for my job, plus doing my normal job duties. I mean, it's a toll on the brain. And if I didn't have a solid base to lean on, I'd probably be going to happy hour after work. I'd probably be looking for something to make me feel better, something to take the edge off, something to take the shame, the guilt, especially if I had a bad day and I felt like a failure because I didn't do everything perfect. And I don't know who I'm talking to or if I'm talking to anybody at all. But if I'm talking to you, I hope that you understand that you're not those thoughts. You are not your feelings. They lied to you. They're past programmings that you carry on with you on a daily basis. And if you don't learn how to get rid of them, it's going to carry on in your life for the rest of your life. And it's going to tear good things down. And it's going to destroy trust, honesty, integrity, discipline, and responsibility. I hope that you've enjoyed this because I've enjoyed making it for you. I enjoy the true crime stuff, but it can't all be true crime. Sometimes it has to be about other things where you can, you know, take care of yourself, because like I said, you only get this once. Enjoy it. Enjoy the ride. This is 12 Gauge, and I hope that you enjoyed the shame and guilt and how it affects you and how to get over it. If you have any questions, feel free to ask me in the comments. Send me a message. I'll eventually post my email and all the contact information. I'm still learning how to get this channel up and going. Those of you who have commented on other videos, thank you so much for your comments. It's much appreciated. And thank you for the views and thank you for the love, because honestly, I don't know what I'm doing half the time and I don't even know if anybody's watching. So it makes me feel that what I'm doing is somebody's actually benefiting from my time on this microphone. Y'all have a wonderful night and God bless you all. Till next time.